I know today is a topic that you probably don't see too much when it comes to, helping business owners get their shit right when it comes to the credit. I mean, there's just so many other things to worry about as a business owner, right? But then there's your credit score and getting your credit right. So we need to jam on this today, fam. We need to touch on some things that you may not want to talk about, but that's why you're here. So so tell us real quick, man. Let's start from the bottom. Now we're here type thing. Okay. You got your company Click Letters. You started out really helping people, get their credit right, build their credit. So tell me the background behind that. Like where'd all that come from?
Sure. Yeah. And, I think where we probably need to touch on here just real quick is, credit gets a bad stigmatism. Basically a lot of people think about credit and they get kind of like credit, right? It's one of those bad words, if you will, in some cases, because it basically points out things. It's kind of like a report card, right? You remember when you get your report card, it has either A's or B's, and you have less than that, you kind of feel bad about showing your parents, right? So it's kind of one of those situations. But the good news is it's all fixable, right? So, I try to tell people, especially when they come into my world, my company, or into the system that we have, is, we want you to start over and retrain your brain to not think of it as a bad thing, but think of it as a good thing. That way we can start to change the way you think and change the way you act, the habits that you have, right? Because really that's what it is. It's just bad habits that have creeped up into your life in some way. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, things happen to people every single day, right? And that's kind of how it led me to even getting into this industry, is because, I've been online for quite a long time. You and I have talked about this before, Ryan, but I've been on the internet since 2003, growing businesses from e-commerce through the building games for Apple and all these other things that I could do just to find a business that would fit for me and what I want to do and what that was is just be an entrepreneur, work from home and have more time to spend with my family. But the thing is, we got caught up in the, let's try to spend money to get where we want. And then what happens is when things start to not work out the way they should, everything comes down on you. And then you're like swamped in all these different bills and things that happen. So, myself, I was in that situation where we had to figure out a way to get out of that situation. So, I thought I was making more money, but I found out very quickly, I can make more money, but if my credit's still not right, then that money's only so good so far, because in today's, obviously in 2020, we all are starting to see a lot of, importance of how important credit is with getting home, getting cars. I mean, these are obviously things that are necessities in some way, but also they're things that people need and want, and that's kind of where it comes into play, right? Credit's that important, but there's also other aspects that have and understand why you need credit. And it's to grow your business faster, right? Go further, faster financially is my process, right? I teach people how to use debt weapons, which are credit utilization processes, right? It's how to use debt weapons to go further, faster financially and get to that.
Because people, some people really think that, and maybe we can jam on this for a quick sec, but when people bring up all debt is bad, what's your thought behind that?
Not okay. And I've heard this a lot, and here's the thing. I think the stigmatism around debt is, again, we all come from that, oh my God, I've got bad debt because I didn't pay debt, or I'm got into debt and now I don't want to get into more debt because it's just going to put me in a worse situation. Again, it comes back to habits and understanding how to utilize those debt weapons better, right? And what I mean by that is, instead of using debt to buy materialistic things, right? And I'm not talking about a car or a house that you need, right? Everybody needs a car in some way to get around. It's just things you have to have. But there are things that people use credit for that, in some ways that are just not going to help you succeed in any way, right? It's more debt that you're building up. So being able to switch that habit to using debt to increase your process of being successful, right? So being able to invest maybe in the real estate, being able to invest in your business to grow, to make more income. because anytime you can take, $50,000 and turn it into 60, 70, 80, or even 100,000, you've taken that debt from, for example,
Shutterstock Music.